Please arrange your tables and chairs, pick up all the rubbish, and throw it in the bin. We'll now check the attendance. Practice lang. Welcome. Hello. This is Music and Art 7, Quarter 2, Week 3 to 4, focusing on Panubok of Panay Bukidnon and Ikat of Indonesia. This is your teacher, Zachara. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Here are our objectives. So please don't forget that this lesson, this PowerPoint, is based from the lesson exemplar under Matatag curriculum. So as a global citizen, let's celebrate our differences and respect diversity. Lesson focus. Panay Bukidnon's Panubok and Indonesia's Ikat. And those are actually under visual arts. Activating prior knowledge. So let's read a poem. Let's read together, okay? In the hills where bamboo instrument whispers, the Panay Bukidnon song begins with slender reeds and nature's breath. The melodies of earth's embrace ascend. The tulali hums a secret tale in the wind's soft ancient wail. A tikumbo and litgit in quiet hands carves its voice across the lands. In the dance of fingers on the tulali, a harmony from mountains shoots, like rivers flowing, so being smooth and wild, the rhythm steers the heart of a child. Far from shores of Philippine shores, where gamelan's magic roars. In the island air, the gong's deep cry meets the sky where spirits fly. Gamelan's song is golden light, a tapestry woven through the night. With gambang, kendang, and the bonang's call, echoes rise and gently fall. Like the bamboo's humble sound, gamelan's chime spins round and round. Two worlds, two hearts, both rooted deep, where ancient voices rise from sleep. Bamboo whispers, gamelan sings, both carry echoes on their wings. In Panay and Indonesia's vast embrace, music joins to fill the space. So let the tultugan softly meet the gong in unity where all belong. Bamboo's breath, gamelan's flame, together echo one and the same. Who or what do you think are the characters in the poem? Can you name different mambo instruments of Panay Bukidnon and Indonesia's gamelan? Panay Bukidnon's bamboo instrument and Indonesia's gamelan. So in summary, here is Panay Bukidnon's bamboo instrument and Indonesia's gamelan. So gamelan is actually an ansam or an orchestra of instruments. Establishing lesson purpose. Guess the picture through rebus puzzle. Learn the function of these mathematical symbols, this one and this one, the addition and equal, and explore visual literacy. Let's try. Embroidery. It is the process of embellishing the surface of textiles with decorative stitching using colorful threads, often made of silk or cotton. Let's go to the next one. E-cat, a method of for coloring fabric and patterns by resist dyeing. The pattern is made to the threads before being constructed to a fabric. Next, Panubok. From the word tubok, panubok is the traditional embroidery of the Panay Bukidnon with patterns and designs reflecting the shapes and objects from the environment where the Panay Bukidnon draw their inspiration from. Let's have the next one. Yes, craftsmanship. In Cambridge, this means skill at making things. In Wikipedia, this means the degree of quality exhibited by a handicraft. Another word to define is the word dyeing. Is the process of adding color to textile materials like fabrics, yarns, and fibers using dyes or pigments. Developing and deepening of understanding. Through this lesson, we will explore the fascinating world of panubok, embroidery, and ikat dyeing, both of which are important cultural practices that reflect our heritage. Understanding these crafts will not only deepen our appreciation for the artistry involved, but will also allow us to connect with our cultural roots in a meaningful way. Panubok and ikat. The processes of panubok embroidery and ikat dyeing each involve unique techniques, materials, and cultural significance that reflect the rich heritage of the Philippines and Indonesia.
Yabon, python, alim, bopay, ginagawa namin na embroidery is panubok. Mahirap din kasi masakit sa mata, masakit sa balikat, masakit sa kamay, masakit sa huli. Sabi nila, gawa namin yung authentic ba or yung hindi siya common. Sa lahat ng mga designs namin, makikita talaga siya sa paligid. Or fishbone, tuko-toko, support siya ng traditional house namin doon sa bundok. Kasi yung red, isang matapang siya na kulay. Nasa dugo na talaga namin yung pagbuborda. Ginagawa namin, hindi lang sa pera, kundi maipapamana namin sa mga younger generation. Na kung mawala man kami, meron pa rin yung mga gawa namin.
Panubok. The word panubok comes from the Kinaraya word tubok, which means to embroider. Manugtubok. A manugtubok is an artisan from Panay Bukidnon who specializes in traditional embroidery art known as panubok. By the way, everybody, you may actually watch the full video during your free time. I just have to cut some of the scenes or some of the clips in this video of mine because that is to avoid infringement or copyright issues. So I'm just gonna put the video link in the description box. So you can just click that one or you can copy that link to YouTube address or to your web search bar. Okay. Panubok basic patterns. Linantay. So these are the examples of linantay. Bulak sang labog. There's togi-togi, binalagon, girigiti, and inagsam. There's tuko-tuko, matang punay, and binunghay. Here's a closer look to linantay. You see that pattern at the hem of the cloth. Here's another one. Linantay is the basic panubok or embroidery pattern. The manugtubok or the embroiderer can come up with different embroidery designs using the linantay or chain stitch. Linabog or bulak sang labog. Linabog is a panubok design pattern after the flower of the labog plant that grows abundantly in the forest. Labog is very significant in the life of the Panay Bukidnon. The flowering season of labog signals the start of planting season for their kaingin, and it also reminds them that it's already January. Here's a closer look of binalagon, which is a vine-like stitches. Here's the binalagon. This one is inagsam, a trap-like thorny fern here. And there's togi-togi on the upper part. There's the girigiti. So girigiti is quite like a wider version of togi-togi. Togi-togi is a panubok applique patched in the edges of the clothes. Its difference from girigite is it is not as pointed and it is copied from the dalipe or boulders in the mountains. Girigite, a zigzag-shaped applique and embroidery commonly used as edging on their blouses. Binalagon is a panubok design pattern after a vine or a balagon that is used to tie bamboos to create a raft. Inagsam is patterned after a trap-like thorny fern called agsam that is like a trap or a nesting place for snakes. Combined together, these designs are often found in the edges of female or male garments of Panay Bukidnon. Tuko-tuko is patterned after the tuko or tukod made of kawayan or bamboo poles. This tuko also is used in making a karosa, which the Panay Bukidnon farmers use in transferring their harvest from one kaingin to another. They would usually align these bamboo poles and tie them together using a balagon or a vine in order to make a karosa, which is usually pulled by a carabao. Have you seen a carabao? Yes. So we have a carabao here in the Philippines, and that is actually what? Yes, you're right. Matang punay. Matang punay is another embroidery pattern or panubok pattern of Panay Bukidnon. Matang punay is a panubok design pattern that's patterned after the eyes of the lovely or loving bird and a pet of Humadapnon. Remember Humadapnon? Humadapnon is one of the characters in Sugidanon. So can you still recall Sugidanon? Correct. That's the epic chanting of the Panay Bukidnon. What that is actually their vocal music. And at the same time, the way they tell the story about their history, about the culture, about the epic. So let's go back. Matang Punay is again, it is patterned after the eyes of the loving bird, which is a pet of Humadapnon. So the Punay. Humadapnon is a character in the Sigidanar epics of Central Panay. Binunghay. Binunghay is a basic panubok pattern that is a combination of another pattern. For example, sikag-sikag nga binunghay is two sikag-sikag or V design, forming a W design. This design is also present in the Sudlikama pattern. Pakpak Araguring is a panubok design patterned after the beautifully colored wing of a bug called Araguring. Please don't mind me coughing, class, okay? I'm not really feeling well at the moment, but I'm trying my very best so that I can present to you our lesson. So, you're familiar with the bug, right? Yeah, so they have a bug somewhere in their location, in their place, and they call it aragoring. And they actually patterned this design based on the aragoring. That's why they call it pakpak aragoring. So they took the idea from the wings of a bug or the wing of a bug. There you go. It's actually not that beautiful because I just copied the photos from the internet. Also the link of the photos where I got them, it's actually in the reference page. So I think I'm going to try to put all the reference if I can in the description box. So yeah, credit to the owners of these photos. They're really beautiful. I really wish I can have one because I really love the patterns of panubok. Now let's move to ikat. Here is a short video, and if I cannot finish showing you the whole video, if it's too long, then you may just check the description box. I'm gonna put there the title of this video so that you can watch later on. So they're removing the seeds from the cotton. They're loosening the cotton. Now the cotton is loosened. They're going to put it in a spinner. They're gonna spin it to make a yarn or a thread out from the cottons. Then they're gonna put the warp on a frame, binding the yarn. So they're binding it now, or like tying. Then they're gonna dye it. So they're actually using, you can see that the colors, they're using all natural. That's weaving already. So they're using natural materials. Okay, that's the ikat dyeing process. So ikat patterns, there's warp versus weft. So when we say warp, here is warp. Here at the bottom, these are the wefts. Okay, the lengthwise yarns that run vertically up and down the fabric roll. The crosswise yarns that run horizontally across the fabric roll, the weft is usually shorter than the warp. Here are some patterns of ikat. So this is the warp ikat, weft ikat, and double ikat. Warp ikat is the easiest to create. Yarns like silk, cotton, wool, or other cloths get wound on a tying frame where they are separated into bundles. The thread bundles are folded either vertical or horizontal axis, and a basic ikat motif is bound. This is then repeated until the threads get unfolded for weaving right after the dyeing is finished. Weft ikat. This approach utilizes resist dyeing for weft yarns. These weft yarns are usually dyed a solid color to ensure the clarity of these ikat patterns. The weft yarn needs to be adjusted after each time the shuttle passes through the weave. Double ikat, this complex technique is characterized by both the warp and weft yarns are tied and dyed before being woven into a single textile. They are relatively rare because of the intensive skilled labor required to produce them. This extra time involvement means it's also the most expensive to create. The panubok embroidery of Panay Bukidnons intersects with Indonesia's ikat dyeing through shared cultural significance, intricate craftsmanship, symbolic motifs, and potential historical interactions that highlight the importance of textile arts in both cultures. So as you can see, the panubok and the ikat, they may have a different process. Okay, they may differ in the process and in the materials that they use, but they are actually similar when it comes to the purpose. So, like, or their importance. So, like, they are actually valuing the craftsmanship, the labor, the effort that they are exerting so that they can create a beautiful panubok pattern or a beautiful ikat dyeing design or textile. So the human labor is there, the effort is there, the passion in creating such a beautiful art is there. So there's indeed an intricate craftsmanship. They also share cultural significance. Both panubok and ikat, they are very important to Panay Bukidnon of the Philippines and to Indonesia. They also are symbolic motifs, and they are both potential historical. There is a historical interactions that actually highlight the importance of textile arts in both cultures. So here are the intersections. Now, so I try to break them down. So in the process, panubok, it is a hand-stitched embroidery. Ikat, it's a pre-dyed yarns woven into fabric. Materials, cotton or silk threads on fabric. Ikat, they also use cotton or silk yarns, but they are dyed before weaving. As for the pattern and design, panubok is intricate, often floral or geometric. Ikat, they have blurred edges, they have abstract designs, and usually they also have cultural motifs. Respecting craftsmanship mini museum. Let's move to our short activity. So, number one, you're going to examine samples of panubok and ikat textiles. So, they are actually printed on papers and are displayed inside the classroom. Then you're going to discuss with your peer the labor involved in creating these textiles. So, when we say the labor, it's the effort of the people who created this kind of design. Then you're going to share reflections on what respect for craftsmanship means in the context of these arts. Guide question: how does understanding the labor involved change your perspective on these arts, and why is it important to respect traditional crafts? Right, so here's an activity for the non attendees today. Like, we have students who are doing their sports event, and there are those who are sick and are excused from the class, so they can actually do this activity so that they will have their um, task for today. So they're going to compare and contrast. For learners who are not able to be in class today, activity will be sent via messenger for them to work out and submit once they are ready to be back in school. So they're gonna watch the videos and observe. Then they're going to list the similarities and difference that they have observed in terms of the Panay Bukidnon Panubok and Indonesia's Ikat. So the links will be sent into the messenger of the parents or to the students. And then also, if you are at home right now and you want to watch the video, I'm also going to put this link rather, in the description box. Okay? Another activity: design your own pattern. Instruction. So this can actually be, it depends on your teacher. This can actually be your performance task. Using elements from both panubok and ikat, create a unique pattern in the material given. Incorporate visual aesthetics and symbolic meanings in your design. Present your design to the class and explain your choices. Criteria: creativity in design 10 points, incorporation of elements from both arts 5 points, and clarity in presentation 5 points. Making generalizations. Learners' takeaways. How do traditional crafts like panubok and ikat contribute to national identity? In what ways can modern technology impact traditional crafting techniques? Why is it important to preserve traditional crafts in a rapidly globalizing world? So these are the possible answers. So you may just pause the video and read it on your own. In summary, while panubok embroidery and ikat dyeing utilize different techniques and materials, both share a rich cultural context that highlights the artistry and craftsmanship of Filipino heritage. By engaging in these activities, we have developed a deeper respect for the labor involved and explored how to incorporate these elements into our own designs, reinforcing the importance of cultural appreciation in our creative expressions. Evaluating learning. So let's have a short quiz. You're going to rearrange the letters according to its definition. Number one, number two, number three, number four, number five. So you can just pause the video and try to answer them before you check the answers. Okay? Thank you so much, everyone. See you all tomorrow or to our next video.